Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2020 Crichton Medal presented by Yakult. My name is Julian De Stoop. I'm joined by club's game record holder, two-time premiership player and 2000 Crichton medalist in Dustin Fletcher. Dusty, great to see you. Obviously it's a team game, but you won one Crichton medal in a premiership year. For a player, what does it mean to win a best and fairest?
Oh, it does. It means, I suppose, 22 games of a solid season, and obviously I was lucky enough to win one in 2000 in a pretty good side, and it is something you look back to, once you are retired and you're done, you look back to it and say, you were the best player at the football club, so it's a big honour. Should be an interesting count tonight. You've got Zach Merrett, who's looking like, only 11 players before have won 3 best and fairest or more. He's already got 2, and then you've got a host of young players, including Andrew McGrath and Jordan Ridley, that could take out their first Crichton medal. Just give us a few of your predictions for players that are going to finish pretty high up. Yeah, I think it's going to be obviously a defender in Ridley. I think he's had a fantastic year. I think he played nearly every game as well. And then obviously Sard's not far behind him. He's been very good with his efforts this year. And then obviously McGrath, Merrett and even Shield I think's had a pretty good year as well. So does a midfielder sort of get there, or does the defender take out the big one? Bit of bias from you, tipping the defender? Yeah, I've been a big Ridley fan for a while, so I really enjoy the way he went about it. There was obviously plenty of ball down there this year, so he's had some time down there to have a really good year. And in saying that, Zach Merrett, I think his season's been fantastic, and I've loved McGrath as well. So whoever wins tonight is going to be a deserved winner. Fletch, we'll get your thoughts throughout the count. But first of all, the club would like to acknowledge the incredible support of its co-major partners throughout a very difficult 2020 season. Amart Furniture and CEO Lee Chadwick, and Fujitsu General Australia and their Managing Director Philip Perham. The club would also like to thank its longest-serving commercial partner, now in its 16th year, and the proud presenting partner of this year's Crichton Medal, Yakult Australia. The club would also like to acknowledge the support of their other valued premium partners, Under Armour Australia, Border Express, NEC, Coles Supermarkets, Coles Insurance and the House of Marley. Now let's have a listen to a speech from our CEO, Xavier Campbell.
Welcome everyone to the Essendon Football Club's 2020 Crichton Medal, coming to you from Novotel Twin Waters Resort in Maroochydore. Can I firstly acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians on whose land we are gathered, the Kabi people. I pay my respect to the elders past and present and acknowledge their cultural authority and continuous connection to their country. I'd also like to acknowledge the support of our valued premium partners, Under Armour Australia, Border Express, NEC, Coles Supermarkets, Coles Insurance and the House of Marley. 2020 has presented incredibly unique, trying and difficult circumstances across the globe. Simply, it's been a year like no other. Certainly, this football season has been unlike any other. Across the industry specifically, I want to highlight the sacrifices of our people and the competition throughout the year. As a broader club, it's been extremely difficult. Over the past month, like all AFL clubs, we have reset our entire organisation. We are an industry that has been left with no choice due to significant financial and economic challenges being faced as a result of COVID. This restructure of our business has meant 35% of our staff either have or will be leaving our club. Good people, through no fault of their own, through no fault of the football club. This will be reflected across the entire industry. To the people that are leaving us, thank you. Thank you for everything you've done. We'll continue to support you in whatever way we can into the future. I also want to thank our Victorian-based members and supporters. We know it's been a very difficult and very trying landscape back home, and we know there's some light at the end of the tunnel. You've hung tough, and we thank you sincerely for your continued support, tuning in, watching your side, week in, week out. We're disappointed we haven't been able to bring you more joy throughout the year. I'd also like to thank the Queensland Government and the AFL for their work to get the season off the ground. If the true impact of COVID on the competition and the resulting dynamics of this season had been presented to us in March, I'm not sure we would have ever thought we could have got a season away. So, thank you to the AFL and the Queensland Government. This is a year that, although we might not have achieved what we wanted to achieve on field, we will admire it for the resilience, the determination of the clubs, the players and the league and what they've shown, including an incredible collegiate approach for the good of the game. I'd also like to acknowledge the executive management team within the club. Justin Brodsky, Kevin Dixon, Darren Harris, Brenton Humphries, Adrian Dodoro, Leanne Brooke, and in particular, Dan Richardson and Lisa Laurie, executives that have led the hub and the football department over the past 6 months. An incredible amount of work has gone into it, and I want to say sincerely thank you very much for everything you've done. Please put your hands together for those people. From a football perspective, I genuinely believe we have strong foundations. We have great people. We have a platform to build from. But as a club, we need to take the next step. We're not satisfied with our win-loss ratio this season. Our coaches, players, staff alike are not satisfied. And our members and supporters need to hear that. We know there have been unique factors that have impacted our season that have been well documented. But they're just factors. They're not excuses. They can't be excuses. We need to be better across the board. We will make the tough decisions to best position our football program moving forward into 2021, like we will across the entire club. We need to keep improving and growing. In a year like no other for the club and the industry, the support of our commercial partners have been even more important. Pleasingly, and in a show of loyalty typical of those in the Essendon family, we're able to continue our incredible relationships with all of our commercial partners through 2020. To Lee Chadwick, the Chief Executive of the team at Amart Furniture, year 2 of our partnership has certainly been a bit difficult and different to year 1, but we are confident the partnership will continue to go from strength to strength. To Philip Perham, Dave Smith and the Fujitsu General team, thank you for your unwavering support. We look forward to a big 2021 together. And lastly, of our commercial partners, I'd like to thank Yakult Australia, the partner of the Crichton Medal and the longest serving commercial partner of our football club. The epitome of loyalty and the strength of relationships. We thank both Mr Kenji Ono and Mr David Watley for their support over the past 16 years and hopefully for many more years to come. I'd like to pay formal acknowledgement to our outgoing President, Mr Lindsay Tanner. Behind the scenes, Lindsay's been a tower of strength. Selected to the board in early 2015, he was elevated to President in December 2015. He led the club through the greatest period of uncertainty in our history, and he did it without fear or favour, only ever being led by what was best for the players impacted and what was best for the club. And he also did it without an inch of ego. He was pragmatic, unemotional, supportive, passionate and whip smart. On a personal note, Lindsay's been an incredible sounding board, always available, and someone I have enormous respect for. To Andrea, Remy and Ainsley, thank you for being at his side through this period, and please put your hands together for outgoing President Lindsay Tanner. I'd also like to briefly acknowledge John Worsfold. Like Lindsay, John's first year at the club was 2016, an incredibly challenging year for the club, and his last will be the COVID year. It seems unfair, but for someone like John, we couldn't have been better placed to lead through these challenges. There are not many people I know that have the temperament, the patience, the resolve that John has had to help guide us through both these periods. His legacy, like Lindsay, will be that he helped rebuild a club that was hurting, to reinvigorate passion for the game for players and staff alike, and to lay foundations for future growth and success. To Georgina, Sophie, Grace and Charlie, thank you for being part of the journey as well. We wish you all the very best. Please put your hands together for John Worsfold. Today formally brings an end to John's time as senior coach at the Essendon Football Club, and it gives me great pleasure to formally announce the 33rd senior coach of the Essendon Football Club, Ben Rutten. Please put your hands together for Ben. Our foundations have been well laid by John, but we're moving into our next phase under the leadership of Ben. Ben is well qualified, he's well prepared, he's passionate about the role ahead. He will leave no stone unturned in creating the best version of this team and its players and staff. He's determined to continue to build on the connection and the relationships within the club, the game style that he believes in, that we believe in, can deliver the club's success. Over the coming weeks, we'll also formally welcome incoming President, Paul Brasher. Paul, like Lindsay, is incredibly passionate. He's not motivated by ego or the simple privilege of just occupying such a significant role at the club. He, like Ben, is determined to bring the club success, and Paul will ruthlessly pursue this. Make no mistake, we're not satisfied with the season, but we're driven to be better in 2021 and beyond. Ultimately, our people will be our competitive advantage. We must be a club that remains united and collectively driven for success. We want to deliver our members our 17th premiership. We're committed to doing that as quickly as we can. An uprising is defined as an act of resistance or rebellion, a revolt. Within this team, our players and staff, you can feel there's an uprising. Not in a negative way, but in a positive way. There is a determination building to break the status quo and take the next step. A weight of numbers is building, motivated to get better, work harder than before and achieve success. A fork in the road is a metaphor based on a literal expression for a deciding moment in one's life or career when a major choice of options is required. As a group, we have two options: continue at the current level or raise the tide. Lift above, bring others with you, and take us to a place we haven't been. This is a theme Ben has spoken passionately to this week. Our members are incredible, loyal, passionate people, but this year has been difficult, on and off the field, and we know they're frustrated. To them, this is all a lot of words. They want to see actions. It's up to us to deliver on this, and I know we will. And I know we're determined to do this.
Yeah, very tough year for all club CEOs. Thank you very much to Xavier Campbell, now I guess residing over a new era with a new president, Paul Brasher, as he mentioned, and also a new coach, the 33rd coach of the Essendon Football Club next year, Ben Rutten. Fletch, just interested to ask you from a player's point of view, how difficult would have this season been, living away from home, playing matches, 4 matches at one stage in 16 or 17 days? How difficult would have this been for all players around the competition?
It is tough, and obviously we've had it, tough down here, the restrictions. But I think that living together in that hub, if you're not winning games of football, it does make it a little bit tough. But you've just got to really, go right up until that last little minute and see what happens. But it's tough. There's no doubt about it. With obviously you're living with each other for that period of time.
As Xavier mentioned, he made a good point there. John's first year was incredibly difficult with the suspensions and obviously having so many players not available. And then his final year has been interrupted by COVID and different circumstances, a lot of injuries as well. How do you look back on John's time as senior coach of the Essendon Footy Club? Yeah,
I suppose it's been tough. The first and the last years have been the real tough ones for him, haven't they? But just when Essendon needed someone to put their hand up, especially and I can talk of those first 2 years. It was a fantastic job that he's done, and as I said, the last part of it with the COVID and with the bubble and with games and not being able to train and all that, I think he's held the group together. And as I said, probably hasn't been the season we've liked, but he's always put his hand up and done a great job.
Yeah, he came in at a very difficult time. So let's get on to the count. And first of all, let's explain how the Crichton Medal works. So after each game of this season, each player is rated from 0 to 5 by 6 coaches. So after that, a very good game, and you can get 30 votes per game. So obviously there's going to be some big numbers by the end of the count. So let's get on to the first award of the night, and the first award is let's have a look. Sorry, we'll have a look at the votes for the first 5 rounds. And obviously, Fletcher, was a fantastic start to the season. 4 wins out of 5, and no great surprise there to see those names, particularly Dylan Shiel, who was at one stage favourite for the Brownlow, being right up there.
Yeah, it does, and it's good to see those names up there. And Dylan Shiel had a great start to the year, along with Ridley and a few of the other players. So it was winning games early, wasn't it? So some good votes being up the top there.
Yeah, it really hurt the club, didn't it, when Dylan Shiel got that suspension and the footy he was playing. It was really bad timing for the club.
Yeah, it was, and he's a strong body, and he can run and he can move, and he's kicked some good goals as well. So, but to see him to start the year really well, and he's obviously an ultimate professional, and the players live around him.
So it's not just the Crichton Medal being awarded tonight. There's a lot of other awards around it. And the first one, it's a really important award. It's the John Kilby Trainers Award, given to the player that shows genuine care and respect to trainers and staff whilst working towards common goals in line with the club and the team values. The award is voted by a group of trainers, staff, medical team and volunteers. And the winner this year, congratulations to defender Marty Gleeson, who's had a really couple of difficult years with injury, but back playing some good senior footy this year. And Fletch, I guess for those outside of the club, just give us an idea, first of all, about Marty, and also Killer was a fantastic character for, I think, 50 years at the Essendon Footy Club.
Yeah, Killer's been a fantastic servant in the footy club and still lives locally there in Niddrie and does a great job. And as I said, for Marty Gleeson to win this award, Marty's a type of kid that he just loves the football club. You can tell he's been brought up around a footy club as a young fella. He loves the trainers, he loves everyone involved, and he treats everyone, just the same. So it's great to see Marty win that award.
Yeah, well done to Marty Gleeson. Now, the next award is for the players that kicks the most goals in the home and away season. Obviously, less games this year, shorter games. And the winner this year of the Matthew Lloyd leading goal kicker is Anthony McDonald Tipungwuti. So another pretty solid year for Waller. Obviously, it's been really tough. And this is mentioned throughout the year. There's been so many injuries to the forwards. There just hasn't been a settled forward group, but I guess the one player that's been able to stay out there has been Anthony McDonald Tipungwuti. Yeah,
and when he gets the ball, he's that exciting, and obviously he's one of the crowd favourites, and just his pure skill. He's kicked some. Not only he's won the goal kicking award, he's kicked some great goals when we really needed them. So to see Tipper win that one, I think he's going to win a few more of those awards in the future.
Yeah, well done to Anthony McDonald Tipungwuti, and both McDonald Tipungwuti and Adam Sard both hit milestones in 2020. Both hit the 100-game mark, and here's some of their best work over those games.
Parrish, Sard with power, strength, speed now.
And Thomas drops the mark. Slung, cooked. Sard wrapped him up.
Clean by Sard. Look at those little pistons pumping as he belts through the centre. Passes a beauty.
Dusty Martin's been enormous. Look at McDonald Tipungwuti again.
Holding the ball.
He is lightning quick. Absolutely. And look at Hoskin Elliott as a result. Tipungwuti with the rundown of the day.
Great part of the ground to turn the footy over either, but the kick wasn't great. Sard puts a nice body lick on Butler.
And that was great by Sard. He had a genuine 2-on-1 there and he won it.
I was interested with Beltran then. There was no effort to go quickly. Sard's found a way through though, and he's done it very well. Onto the left, good kick, Bagley.
Tipungwuti's got it. Oh, nice ball, nice goal. Beautiful goal. Great stuff. The Bombers are putting on an exhibition.
5-10 minutes ago, McKenna's big fly. Well done, Sard. They're a great pair, McKenna and Sard. Sard running to about 50 and going. Bang! Oh, beautiful.
Don't you love this from Sard? Absolutely turned Impey inside out and nailed that. That is brilliant.
I'll tell you what, take the game on. That was a big moment for the Essendon Footy Club.
Thrilling ball, high ball over the top. Spills to McDonald Tipungwuti. Thought about Smith. Will bring it back on the left. No, he won't. He goes the little shimmy and kicks the right for goal. McDonald Tipungwuti.
On the up, Lloyd, well done. Conker, good running there. Sard, Rioli. Sard was brilliant.
Oh, what a tackle.
That's the speed that you need against Richmond, because not too many players would have caught Rioli. That's why he is so important to this team. McDonald Tipungwuti! Out of nowhere! Takes a beauty!
Oh, who else? McDonald Tipungwuti!
He's kicked it!
To McDonald Tipungwuti. He's kicked the goal. He's kicked the goal from the pocket. Bombers in front.
Front spot, Cox. Varco tries to get away. Oh, good tackle again. Third one today, Bruce.
Look out.
McKenna, this is the run and bounce to Sard. The two. Sard is within range. It's going and going. It's a goal. That's Essendon to a T. It doesn't get better than that.
At Coles, you can rely on us for when you think.
It'll be fine.
Because with Coles Home Insurance, we guarantee authorised building repairs for life. Search Coles Home Insurance today.
Welcome back to the Crichton Medal, presented to you by Yakult. We'll get onto the leaderboard for rounds 6 to 10 very shortly. But first of all, we need to pay tribute to some fantastic people, Essendon people that sadly we've lost in the last 12 months. And you can see the names on screen there: Doug Cox, Jack Jones, Ted Lake, Bill Stephen, a former coach of the footy club, Gordon Yeh and Malcolm Pascoe. Jack Jones, Dustin, is a man that is synonymous with the Essendon Football Club. He's been synonymous with the Anzac Day match as well, and an ever-present at the Essendon Football Club. Just give us an idea of the man that Jack was and the impact he had on the footy club.
Oh, I was lucky enough to meet Jack at quite a young age in 1993, and I think the best thing about Jack Jones was he actually spoke to you and asked about you first, and once he asked how you were going, and that was all fine, he got onto football. So, but terrific football person, and the legacy he leaves, you feel like you're in debt to the man, because just a terrific person, and what he's done, not only playing on the football field and the premierships he's won, he's done all that, but the work off the ground's been unbelievable.
The run tours at Windy Hill, didn't he?
Yeah, still he was doing them up until really late too. So Dad did a bit of work with Jack doing those tours, and people absolutely loved Jack, and he loved people as well.
Yeah, thoughts with the families of all those fantastic Essendon people. Let's get on now to the leaderboard for rounds 6 to 10. Some mixed results for the team. So on top at the moment, Jordan Ridley and Andrew McGrath, the two young guns that we spoke of at the time, and the two guys that just featured in those packages, Adam Sard and Anthony McDonald, Tip and Woody, 3rd and 4th, with Zach Merritt hot on their heels, equal 4th with Anthony McDonald, Tip and Woody. As we look over the page to positions 6 to 10, and good to see Will Snelling, who was pretty consistent this year, has cracked his way into the top 10. We didn't mention Adam Sard off the top, Fletch, but once again, he's had a fantastic season.
He has, and the highlights package is fantastic. And I think with Adam Sard too, his closing speed and the way he locks down an opponent is first, and then obviously his chase downs, his run, his tackle, he's got that pace, and obviously a beautiful couple of goals as well.
Is that the thing that's underrated with him? We see the attacking side of his game, but he rarely has goals kicked on him by his direct opponent.
No, he doesn't. And you see even this year, he's started on an opponent and beaten them, and then when they've been struggling on someone else, he's gone to them and beaten them as well. But with his closing speed, he gets to and he defends players really, really well.
So after 10 rounds, it's Jordan Ridley and Andrew McGrath on top. Let's get to our next award, and that's the Lindsay Griffith Rising Star. So the criteria for this award, it's awarded to a player who is younger than 21 years of age and has played less than 10 senior games as at January 1 of the particular year, and receives the most votes in the Crichton Medal. So we'll have that award a little bit later on today. But sorry, no, we don't. Of course, it's young ruckman Sam Draper. And look, I think everyone, Fletch, has been waiting for him to emerge. He was just about to play last year and suffered a knee injury at training. But what have you made of his early games in senior footy?
Oh, terrific start. Just a big kid that has a real go, and I loved his game against West Coast and Nick Natanui, arguably the best ruckman in the comp. His first half, he tried hard, and that second half, he really came out and really give it to Nick Natanui. So someone who competes, he's got a bit of attitude about him, hasn't he? And I think the Bomber fans will love him.
How important is that for a ruckman to have a bit of physical presence about them? Not only get the footy and get hit outs, but to actually make the players around them walk a bit taller.
It does, and a big body, 6 foot, probably 8. I know he's a bit of a soccer background, centre back there in the soccer field, but that second and third efforts is what it's all about. And he's obviously got a good leap as well, coming off a big injury, and his season has been really exciting. Yeah,
look forward to plenty more good games from Sam Draper in the red and black. Now, next up, it's the Adam Ramanauskas Most Courageous Player Award. Now, awarded to the player who puts others before himself and displays personal courage both on and off the field, which is something 2000 Premiership player Adam Ramanauskas did. And a very worthy winner this year is Andy McGrath. Could be a big night for Andy McGrath, currently sitting second in the polling. And a story in the papers yesterday too, Fletch, that his dad was sick during the year, and obviously he's been injured as well. But he hasn't really put a foot wrong since he walked through the door, and it seemed like he took another step this year.
Yeah, he did. You don't hear about those little things, do you, during the year? But yeah, just run and carry. What does courage mean? It means run and carry with the football. It means getting back to help out the defence. And I think this year, 80% of the time he's been back there helping the defence, and the other 20% he's been attacking. So yeah, terrific player, and it's a great award to win.
I'd imagine amongst the players, most courageous would be something pretty high up there.
Yeah, I think when you've got names like Mark Harvey and Dean Solomon, and obviously Adam Ramanauskas, it's quite a great award to win, and Andy McGrath is every part of that award.
Now, as we mentioned, or Xavier Campbell mentioned in his speech, there is a change at the top at the Essendon Football Club, with Paul Brasher coming in and Lindsay Tanner stepping aside. Let's hear from the outgoing chairman.
Welcome to the most unusual Crichton Medal in the history of Essendon Football Club. As you know, I'll be stepping down as president of the club within the next few weeks, And I'd like to talk today not just about the past year, but the 5 years that I've been president and all that has occurred over that time. I'd like to start by thanking my board colleagues, the senior management of the club and the staff, the players, of course, and coaches, past players, coterie groups, all of the members and supporters, our volunteers, the cheer squad, everybody who contributes to our club and those who contribute financially as sponsors. A heartfelt thank you for all of the efforts that you've put in to improving our club and to recovering from the very challenging circumstances we were in 4 or 5 years ago. It's to the great credit of the entire Essendon family that everybody, virtually without exception, was able to put the past behind them and to knuckle down and just get on with it. And we have achieved great things over that time. We have implemented all of the necessary governance reforms and modernised our constitution. We have had a stable board and a very strong and stable executive team over that time. We now have 30% of our board female. And of course, we have, for the first time, an Essendon women's team in the VFLW and hopefully soon in the AFLW. Of course, we also are well advanced in the development of the second stage of the hangar, a world-class facility already, and we will be the envy of the AFL competition for facilities when we get to the conclusion of that project early in the new year. On-field has been a mixed bag, but there are some very big things to be proud of. I'm especially proud of the inauguration of a new blockbuster, the Country Game, and I expect that that will go from strength to strength over the years as they unfold. We've also gone from a club that was losing players to a club that's able to attract players and have gradually built our playing list to a much stronger position. But we all know that the recovery from the depths of 2015, 2016 is not complete. We bounced back very quickly on field into a position that we've been for pretty much the last 15 years of being in the bottom end of the finals, maybe not, and around the mid-table area. That's not good enough. We have to do better, and we are committed to doing better. I've been following Essendon now for almost 60 years, since I was a little kid at Orbost Primary School. And over that time, I've been through a lot of ups and downs, some great triumphs, but a lot of very painful years. And this year has been one of those painful years. The circumstances have been extraordinary. There's been quite a lot of things that have gone wrong, some of them within our control, some of them not. On the things that are within our control, we are already taking steps to change and improve things. We've learnt a lot this year. There's been a lot of things that have informed the transition that's going to occur on the coaching front, and I am absolutely confident that we'll see a much better performance and much better outcomes next year. One thing that I do take great heart from, an indicator that I've always looked at the end of every season, is how many players take a big step up in their performance and their quality during the course of the year. This year we've had about 6 or 7 of our younger players take a really noticeable step up, and that's going to establish a fantastic platform for greatness in the future. I can assure all of our members that our staff, our coaches, our players are all committed to tackling the challenges that lie in front of us and getting the improvement that takes us higher up the ladder than the last 15 years of in and out of the bottom part of the 8. I believe in our playing group, I believe in our coaching staff, and we have a great senior leadership in the organisation. We are very well positioned to succeed, and I have no doubt that we will succeed, but we should not ever forget where we have come from with all the challenges that this club faced. We were on our knees only a few years ago. We have fought ourselves back into a much more competitive position, but now is the time that we have to start delivering. Finally, I'd like to thank wholeheartedly some of the key people involved in all of this. First, John Worsfold, who has brought back trust, stability and focus to our club, not just the team, not just the football department, to our club, and has been fundamental in rebuilding the club as you now see it. He's been a great leader and a great contributor to Essendon Football Club. Second, Xavier Campbell. It's no surprise that the AFL were interested in headhunting Xavier as a future head of the AFL. In my view, he's the best CEO in the competition and has been an outstanding performer over the time that I've been president of the club. If there is one single person who deserves the credit for the bounce back organisationally that we have achieved over those last 4 or 5 years, it's Xavier Campbell. Thirdly, to my deputy and soon-to-be successor, Paul Brasher. Paul has been invaluable, loyal, dedicated, and his expertise in the finance area absolutely fundamental to restoring the club to its current state of health. He's an excellent choice to succeed me as president of the club, and I have no doubt that he will do a tremendous job. I'm also delighted that Ben Rutten is stepping up to become our senior coach. The transition, even though we have had a rather difficult year on field, the transition has worked exceptionally well, and I have no doubt that Ben would agree that he will be a better coach for the period of time he's had in tandem with John Worsfold. We have gone through a healing stage in our club's history, and I cannot emphasise enough just how much healing has been required to restore our club to good health and strength. That's taken several years, but it now is in that position. We can now look forward to a different era under different leadership, a new coach with different emphasis and a new president with undoubtedly a different style in a variety of respects. It is time for a baton change. It is time for a different approach to how the club pursues its goals, but I have absolute confidence that we are going to go up the ladder, we are going to achieve success, and we're going to bring Essendon Football Club back to greatness. It's been a tremendous privilege to be able to serve as club president over the past 5 years. It wasn't exactly my childhood dream, that was actually playing for the club, but it's near enough. And I've been particularly pleased to be able to make a contribution when the club was so much in need of organisational restoration, and that's effectively what we have managed together to achieve. All of us, supporters, members, the board, the staff, the players, the coaches, volunteers, coterie groups, everybody, sponsors, everybody has knuckled down and got on with it. And that's been a great credit to the entire Essendon family. I wish you all well, and let's hope that we have a much better set of circumstances in which to play football in 2021 than the ones that we've had to deal with in 2020, which cannot be underestimated in terms of their impact. I look forward to 2021 with great confidence. Thank you very much for your support and your confidence during the course of the past 5 years. Go Bombers.
And thank you very much to Lindsay Tanner, like John Worsfold. He's led the club during an incredibly difficult time. So, of course, as we mentioned, new chairman next year, a new coach. And as Fletch, like every year, there's players departing. And one player that is departing, sadly, but we understand the reasons, is the Irishman in Conor McKenna. He came to the club, I think, during your last year. And it's a shame he's going. He's a great talent and a unique player.
Yeah, he was, and from Tyrone, I think County Tyrone, he's obviously going back there, but just someone who competes. He realised that to become a full-time athlete, the work he needed to do, and again, watching Connor play, he's exciting, wasn't he, with those solos he did during a couple of games, and kicked some great goals off half-back, and along with obviously Sard, those two at one stage were the best half-backs in the competition together. Yeah, fourth in the best and fairest last year. Let's have a look at some of Connor's best work.
Bounces all the way through to the pacey McKenna. Gets an early bounce going. Conor McKenna, 2 bounces. Make it 3. Look at him. Beat his man. All ends up. Can he get the finish? You bet he can. Inspirational from Conor McKenna.
He gives a little bit of time for McKenna. Good shepherd by Zahara.
Look at
McKenna steps around Murphy. No problem.
McKenna. Just love it, don't you?
McDonald knocked it down. McDonald, Tipperwoody to McKenna. Don't you love an overconfident Irishman?
Connor, you've made the incredibly difficult decision to retire from the AFL effective immediately. How have you come to the decision?
Yeah, probably this year just haven't really been enjoying my football as much. Talked to Ben Rudden on much of the last probably 6 weeks about just not really enjoying the games and didn't really put my hand up for selection probably the last 4 weeks. Was just happy to play VFL and sort of just realised that if it's going to be over the end of the year, might as well just sort of finish it now. Pretty not an easy decision, but with having gone on the last year, just I know it's the right time for me to go home, and it's something I've always looked forward to, and actually to be able to say it and announce that I'm retiring. It's very, very happy day for me. I'm actually looking forward to going home and starting a new chapter of my life with my family and back to Gaelic football, which I've sort of always dreamt about doing, so I'm really looking forward to getting home.
You stood up and told your teammates this morning. How hard was it to tell them that?
Yeah, pretty hard, I suppose. A couple of the boys really close with, like Jade and Paddy and Raz and Walla and them boys. It's hard after 6 years of living with them, and I suppose I live a third of my life over here, so it's just the really friendships I'll have for the rest of my life, and just to say goodbye to them, and probably having gone on to not see them for maybe a couple of years, so yeah, it was pretty difficult to say goodbye to them ones especially.
You made a huge sacrifice 6 years ago to leave family and travel to the other side of the world, but what made you want to chase the dream of playing AFL?
Yeah, just because there's no professional football back home in Gaelic, it was sort of just another challenge for me, and at that stage I really was looking forward to getting over here, and after probably my first year, but did struggle to come back every year, and it's something I have dealt with, but just the dream of playing a professional sport, and I started wanting to play one game, and then I'd play one game, wanting to be a consistently good footballer, and I think I achieved that in the last few years, and to be honest, it's just another real more goals or ambition to be here, so that's why I sort of made the decision to go home. So I'm very proud of what I've achieved, and my family's proud of me, so I'm really proud of what I've done.
You had several AFL clubs interested in you 6 years ago, but what made you choose the Bombers?
Yeah, I suppose the Bombers stand to Marty Allison and the Allisons, that with the host family I lived with the first year and a half, they really look after me. They came over and visited my friends and family before I got drafted, so they're probably another big part of my life over here, and they are my Australian family, and I'll be grateful for them and the children as well, so they really look after me.
You played 79 games for Essendon and finished fourth last year in the Crichton Medal, so you've had a really good career at the Bombers, but what have been the proudest moments for you?
Proudest moments, probably just playing my first game when Mum and Dad were here. It was pretty special against Richmond. Other than that, just playing consistent football last year and probably coming fourth in the Crichton Medal was a big thing for me, and as I said, I sort of achieved what I wanted to achieve, so that's where I sort of probably lost a bit of ambition this year.
What do you think the hardest thing is about saying goodbye to the football club?
Probably just saying bye to people you're most close to, like some of the staff, and probably 5 or 6 of the players you're really close to that I would be friends with for the rest of my life, but it's just saying goodbye to them and actually not being able to see them for the next probably 2 years is a big thing.
So how does the next stage of life look for you?
Yeah, so I'll fly home probably next week up to Sydney to see my friends for a few days, and then fly back next week, and I don't know how to get a job for the first time, so I'll back and probably work in my dad or look into a bit of university maybe, and then start playing Gaelic again, which is something I've really looked forward to doing since I first came over here, so that's something I'm really looking forward to getting back involved with.
Your style of play and your personality has really endeared you to the Essendon faithful, so no doubt they're going to miss seeing you out there. Is there anything you'd like to say to the fans?
Yeah, I just suppose thank you very much for the support over the last 6 years. It's been a difficult few years for the club, but just keep back them, and they'll hopefully be able to prove you wrong, and hopefully at some stage you might be able to come back out. I'm not really sure if I go home in 2 years' time, I might want to come back out and play AFL, so I don't think the book's fully closed yet. I might be able to come back out and maybe hit the 100 mark, but at this stage it's over.
Well, congratulations, Connor, on your time at Essendon. You've done the club very proud, and you'll be an Essendon person forever, and all the best in the next chapter of life.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Feeling the cold? Luckily, Fujitsu's state-of-the-art reverse cycle air conditioners keep you warm and comfortable in winter. Much easier than Hale's warm-up. There's an easier way to warm up. Just get a Fujitsu. It's Australia's favourite air.
Good stuff there by Kelly. Smith's kicked one goal, and he's going to kick another one. Yeah, he's got it. That was big.
McDonald moves it on to Gibson. Great closing down. And he gets his reward there, Devon Smith.
Haven't confirmed a final spot yet, and yet second on the ladder could have been theirs. Devon Smith loads up from the pocket. A miracle goal for the lead back.
Devon Smith on the outer side, he gets the job done.
In and out sort of kick, Saad to try and defend, but he wasn't able to. Devon Smith, who kicked 3 goals in the third quarter last week, Takes a jackal.
Gets under this. Straight up. Rowan. Gee, ran under it through his hands. Devon Smith. It's getting nasty now. Really nasty.
And Langford sends it in quickly up to McDonald Tipungwuti. Ricochets off his shins. Smith there and was shoved out of the way. And path was cleared by McDonald Tipungwuti. And then look at the spinning ball from Devon Smith from the pocket. An amazing goal.
Strong physical work by Burne-Jones. Oh, that's amazing hunting by Smith.
Sorko gets stopped in his tracks. And the umpire says it's holding the ball.
4 against the Roos a couple of weeks ago. 5 times 4 more goals. Devon Smith has thrilled the crowd. He came up worse for wear.
So Rice gets it to Jackson. Well done, Devon Smith.
Townsend. Zaharakis. Dev Smith in a dangerous spot. Has a bounce. Runs to centre half forward. Low drilling ball. He's going to bounce through.
Punched away. Can Melbourne open them up now? Oliver Gordon with a ripping tackle.
Dev Smith leading the way again with the tackles. Up to 10 tackles for the night.
Run. Handball in here to McKenna. McKenna sees something better. Smith lines it up from 50 and launches on it. Florence spinning in and then out of the tackle. Quick little handball from Guelphy. Got it to Heppel. Heppel around the corner. Rampy tried to one hand. Smith quite brilliant. Smith magnificent. Through traffic, McKenna tried to thread the little needle there to Heppel. Comes back into Castagna. There's the tackling machine. That's how you do it. One arm wrapped. No touch on that. Still at the back. It's alive. Smith for a sixth goal in the opening term. Look at the Bombers. What a start. The kick past his mother kept alive. I think it was McKenna that got it back into the drop zone there. Smith off hands. A little worker. Yes. Another one out of nothing. It's such a courageous game plan and executed so well. Almost McKernan. Oh, yes. Goal number 4. It's Smith. It's Smith.
Saad was able to lay it off. That sort of stuff deserves a goal. And Smith salutes.
That's just a quality finish from Devon Smith.
Jordan Dawson under a bit of pressure. McKernan just slaps it to space. Knew Smith was going there. Smith, normally pretty clever, brings it back. Oh, that might have just gone through and he might have kicked one of the best of the year. Drinkwise score review says Devon Smith's kicked one of the best goals of the weekend.
Yeah, congratulations to Devon Smith, 150 games, and great to see him back out there this year, Fletch, after the knee injury ruined his season last year. And we're just saying then, it's a pretty decent highlights package he's got already.
It is, and obviously his first year was unbelievable with some of the plays he came up with, and just the tackles, you know, it was 10, 9, 8, 10 every week. So, yeah, he's been a fantastic tough, isn't he, a competitor. He's obviously a fantastic player that we got from GWS. So, and he's gone back to half-back, and he's looking pretty good off the half-back this year.
Yeah, of course, Crichton medalist in 2018. So let's have a look at the leaderboard now for rounds 11 to 14. Of course, only 17 games this year, so we're getting down to the business end, and it's still pretty tight at the top, given you can get 30 votes per game. So it's Ridley from McGrath, then Merritt and Sard, and then another 20 votes back to Kyle Langford as we roll over the page to 6 through to 10. Darcy Parish had a very solid season. No surprise to see him in the top 6. And of course, as we mentioned, Dylan Shield did miss a couple of games, so it's still Ridley at the moment, Fletch. And I guess the worry, if you're Andy McGrath, is that injury meant he missed the last 3 matches. Yeah, he does miss a few, and it's good to see Kyle Langford. He's had a very good year too, so he's up there into 5th. So it's going to be a close one. What have you made of Darcy Parish this year? Oh, I've enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. I love the way he's gone into that centre bounce and really taken the game on. And he's kicked a couple of good goals too when we've needed them. So he's had a very good year, and he'll build again into a better year next year. So let's get on to the next award of the night. That is the Most Improved Player Award. Now, this is an award for the player who has demonstrated a commitment to excellence. They must have shown clear improvement from previous seasons and a willingness to go above and beyond. And well, no surprise the winner of this one, Fletch. He would have been at Winks odds if you could bet on it. And that is Jordan Ridley. It's hard to believe watching him this year that he'd only played a handful of senior games heading into 2020.
Yeah, he did. He had a few injuries, obviously, but to see the way Jordan goes about his football, he's composed, he's fantastic by foot. Just got those soft hands where he seems to get in the right position and go for those marks. So had a great year, and this is it may be just the start of it. Who's to know?
Has it surprised you how good he's been this year, or had you seen signs that in his previous games that there was a good player there?
Yeah, it's definitely signs. I was a little bit surprised just how easy he goes about taking those really big marks in some big packs. So, but it's great to see because he'll hold down, that centre half-back spot for some time for sure.
So well done to Jordan Ridley. It might not be the only award that he wins tonight. Let's get on to the next award. That's the Bruce Haymanson Best Clubman Award. So this award is all about the player that displays the club and team values, thereby having the greatest overall positive impact at the club during the year. The award is voted by the football and club executives, and the winner in 2020 is a man that Fletch mentioned before, in Kyle Langford. So well done to Kyle Langford. And look, he's been a player that has been in and out of the side a little bit, but this year he's certainly been very consistent on the field.
Yeah, he has. I think he's matured, I reckon, and it's great to see some of the work that he does on the field, but also off the field with a lot of charities. And he's an Ivanhoe grammar boy that has really got a good head on his shoulders, and he's had a great year.
Where do you see his best position? I mean, he's played midfield. He's played midfield forward this year. Where do you think he's ideally suited?
I think he's going to be that half forward. I think he seems to, when he's got the ball in his hands, he kicks those really good goals. So he can hit in the midfield, but I like him as that half forward because he's a fantastic mark and great shot for goal.
We've seen already acknowledge some of the milestones this year. 100 games for Anthony McDonald, Tippin Woody and Adam Sada. 150 for Devon Smith. But it's only a small percentage of footballers that reach the 200-game milestone. And a man that Dustin Fletch has certainly mentored in the early years was Cale Hooker. And he brought up game 200 this year.
Centre square, long ball, Hooker, 20 points down at the start of the quarter.
Time can't come quickly enough for a couple of them. Hooker through some traffic.
Stanton going across the ground. Nice kick too. Hooker, every time I see him, just gets better. Beautiful kick, Wenderlich.
Pendlebury with a wonderfully dangerous kick. What a mark. Cale Hooker. Had to be done if you're in a bomber jumper. Fair enough, and that's the classic. Holding the footy there, he didn't realise the pressure from Hooker was so close, Lee Montagna.
Needed the riders. This kick comes inside the forward 50 from Milne. Stolen away brilliantly by Hooker. The quality of the opposition said everything you needed to hear about that.
Here's a chance for Hocking. Gets the handball going backwards. Hooker, long kick. Look at that, right through the middle.
Just flushed it off his boot. It's actually got about 65 metres. Watson dives in, he's over it. Thomas dived on him. Anybody's guess of the umpire will give this to Hooker. Just stole it. Gave it to Gambleton.
May not be for finals. Hooker, can you believe it? The ruckman becomes the goal scorer. They mounted something. Schultz in the sides, comes steaming out, but Hooker knew where it was going.
That's number 5 for the quarter.
That hurt St Kilda really. Del Santo, they need the instant reply back again. Good grab, Hooker.
Dyson drives it towards half forward, and a good mark is taken down there by Hooker. Hooker laid it off to Collier.
Lycett, he gets the push off. Now that was Pryor, you'd think. A push away is Pryor. Gone.
Beautifully called one.
Who's there for the Bombers? Big fly at the back. Now it's in dispute. Collier, a little one to Hooker. Can the defender become a goal kicker? Absolutely he can. This is the stuff of fairy tales.
But how good is this? A little bit of a fumble there by Prismal. Tracks it back. Schneider. Now Del Santo spinning out of trouble. Great tackle, Hooker.
It's great tackle. Textbook tackle.
Pinned the arm.
And wastes no time. And Hodge, with time to have a look, have a think, and go for roughhead. Beautifully done by Hooker, who provided the extra man. He left Franklin. It was brave and it was good.
Ace works his way through and then kicks out wide, side bottom. A good mark by Hooker. Yes, it is. Kicks it to the hot spot, but they all fell out. And Hooker did well. Good Hawkins out of business and took them up.
Kelly. The boys have said this man can do no wrong. Cale Hooker today.
Inside the 50, Green and Hurley. and then Welsh under pressure. Green looking for a free. Hooker did well, and then did really well because he stripped him with the footy in the end.
In front, knocked down, well not knocked down, and now taking the mark. Hooker knocked it to his own advantage. Better still.
And there's the long thumb, even in position A. Flies Hooker, spectacular there. Cale Hooker stopped a certain goal.
Yep. Long ball. Oh, Hooker using McCartan as the step ladder.
Chips it to Hooker. He can get and go. 60 from goal. Danced his way inside. Gets plenty on it. It's sailing. It's going. It's going. It's gone. Oh. Bangs it outside 50. Brilliant grab, Hooker.
Parrish, career best form. Hooker, a chance to give it off to Tipperwoody. Chose not. Langford, big battle. McGrath waits. McGrath gets a little give. McKew, 55. The luck of the Irish. It falls to Hooker. It's not going to be the last kick of the night, but it's going to be almost the last kick of the night. The Bombers in front.
Yeah, well done to Cale Hooker, a great footballer and also budding wine maker. So the Hooker Shiraz 2019. So a fantastic drop, and log on to hookerwines.com.au if you want to pick up a bottle. Fletch, have you sampled the Hooker wines?
I have. I'm yet to be over there, but I definitely say I'll get over there at some stage. But great drop, and Hooks, he's pretty good with the wines too.
Just on Cale, you played so much footy with him, and he was pretty raw when he came over. I think he was picked 54 in the draft, but you saw him grow into a fantastic player. Just your memories of Cale early days?
Yeah, I just think like anyone else, he was a skinny kid that first came to the club. It took him a year or two to put that weight on, but one thing he always did have was just those hands is a fantastic mark. And when you mark the ball, it's a lot better than a spoil because it slows the game down and you get control of it. But he's a bit like Stewie Lowe, I reckon. Just when he gets his hands on it, he really takes them. And what he's done as a defender and what he's done when he's asked to go forward, he's won games off his own boot. I've seen the game there against Swans, I think, and Hawthorn. So terrific guy. The boys love to be around him, and he's been a fantastic player for the club.
You'd remember that Hawthorn gun pretty fondly.
Yeah, he's when it was Roughhead and obviously Franklin, and it was pretty tough down there. And he floated across a lot of times and took some really strong marks. And I think there was a chance there one year where he may have been traded back home, but he basically said, "I'm not going anywhere. I'm playing with the Essendon Football Club," and it's great to see him be a life member and have 200 games.
Yeah, he's been very loyal. And fittingly now, we're going to talk about his best mate, Tom Bell-Chambers, who announced his retirement during the week. Fantastic player, but just listening to all the tributes this week, Fletch, he sounds like a guy that was a fantastic teammate. Yeah, it's a bit hard to speak about Tommy because he's all that. You know what I mean? He's a bit like a Solomon or a Mark Harvey to me. He attracts people. He's always first in to help out whenever you're in trouble. But terrific player, Tom. I think between 13 years as a ruckman, and it'd be sad to see him go because I know how much he means to a lot of people at the footy club, and obviously with Hooksy as well with his 200. They're really good mates and some terrific players at the Essendon Footy Club. That's a big tribute there when you're comparing him to those sort of people. So I'd imagine when Tom Bell-Chambers leaves, they're really hard people to replace. Yeah, they are, and from a pure ruck sense, it's great to see Draper's got that something about him, that bit of spunk and a bit of oomph about him, because as I said, Tommy had that. Whenever you get a player that really is going to step in and help you out in any time on the football ground, come back and take a good mark, pushing back as that ruckman, you really look up to him. And Tommy's had a bit of fun off the ground as well. And as I said, you love to be around him because he's just that type of person and someone that has a lot of friends. And and I'm lucky enough to call him a good friend as well. Yeah, 160 odd games. Unfortunately, if it wasn't for his body, he would have played well over 200 as well. Let's have a quick listen to Tom Bell-Chambers.
Nothing much on. Lovett Murray now from long range, kicks it high. Where's Lloyd? Not in the contest, but Bell-Chambers. Bell-Chambers from the side has taken the mark. 35 metres out. He hasn't kicked a goal in his career. You'd like him from here. He puts a throw.
Terrific opening term here. Bell-Chambers and Goddard, they're doing very well, that pair.
Oh, that was brilliantly done. Bell-Chambers down to Melksham.
Looking for some tall timber.
Up he went early. Got a big lead, bit of hang time. And an excellent contested mark.
Well, Tom, you've made the decision to call time on 13 seasons, and 136 games at the Bombers. How have you come to the decision?
Yeah, it's been a really easy decision for me to make. It's been 13 years and I've certainly loved my journey at this football club. There's been a lot of ups and downs and I wouldn't change anything for the world. Probably the biggest part of me to come to this decision is AFL is a really physical and brutal sport. You know, when you get to my age, you need to be able to play at a certain level, and physically, it's probably made it more evident to me that my time's done as a player, and I probably can't do the things that I used to do on the football field. And I feel as though physically I've given everything I can to this football club, and that's probably what makes my decision a little bit easier. And I can really hold my head high walking away knowing that I've given everything to this football club from a physical point of view over my 13 years.
13 years is a long time. It's almost half of your life to have spent at the footy club. So how hard is it to say goodbye? Of course, you'll still remain an Essendon person forever, but to say goodbye to some of those relationships and your teammates, how hard is it?
Yeah, I think that's probably the most difficult thing, you know. Like, I'm been in such a lucky position to play for Essendon for 13 years, and along that journey you meet some really, really good people and you form some really good friendships and bonds on and off the field, and I think that's probably going to be the biggest thing for me that I'm going to miss, you know. Although I haven't had the success on the ground that I would have loved coming into my career, I probably see myself as, you know, my success has been the relationships and the bonds that I form with boys off the ground, and that's really important to me. You know, I started playing footy as a junior to play with my mates, and I can honestly say that, you know, that's probably what's got me so far in my career, that I've always played football for my mates and enjoyed that side of the game, and I think that's what's held me in good stead for the past 13 years.
Perhaps something that the public doesn't see is the impact you've had on some of these younger ruckmen coming through, particularly Sam Draper. How have you enjoyed that experience with Sam being an experienced head for him to lean on?
Yeah, I think it's good, mate, and I think you know, Sammy's still very raw and he's got a lot of ability, and you know, I think with the right coaching and the right mentoring in place, then he's going to be a 10-12 year player for this football club. So to play a small part over the last month while I haven't been playing and watch his development over the last month as well has really given me some, you know, I guess a bit of pride to see what he's done for the football club. And you know, he's got a long career at this football club. His presence out in the field is, you know, it's been evident over the last month or so, and you know, he's only going to continue to grow further and further going forward, and I really look forward to seeing what he can do in the future.
You mentioned that there's been some challenges along the 13 seasons, but how do you think they've shaped you into the person you are today?
Yeah, there's been some tough times. That's been well documented, no doubt. So the one thing I will say is, you know, I think it's made me a stronger person. Well, I know it's made me a stronger person to deal with adversity. Probably had more assistant coaches and coaches than most people in the league over my 13-year career, and yeah, I wouldn't change any of it for the world. And I've loved the Essendon Football Club, and I've been very lucky to have, you know, really good people around me around those difficult times as well. So they kind of make it a lot easier, and yeah, I'm just super proud that 13 years on I'm still standing here, and you know, if you had have said that as an 18-year-old coming over from Tassie, I almost didn't want to leave Tassie there for a while because I'm obviously pretty close to my family. So, you know, to still be up here, mate, and playing the game that I love and enjoying it with the friends and the boys, it's been massive for me.
And to do all of this for such a big footy club with such a proud history and a massive fan base, how proud are you to have achieved this at the Bombers?
To do it at the one club has been super important for me. You know, one of my values that I live by is loyalty, and I can really hold my head up high and say that I've been loyal to this football club, and the football club's been extremely loyal to me over the years too. As I said, there's been a lot of ups and downs, but for the football club to stick by me and, you know, to repay them with a little bit of the faith has been really pleasing. The one thing I will say is there's a lot of good people that go into football club, and there's a lot of good people that go into making, you know, at my 13-year career, and I know the circumstances they're in at the moment, you know, not a lot of those people are up here, but For example, Adrian Dodoro, who drafted me to the football club and gave me an opportunity, and I'm extremely thankful to him, and I wouldn't be here without him. But you know, he's also been a great mentor and a great friend throughout my journey, and I really thank Adrian for what he's done for me. And he's a genuine Essendon person, and I think that these genuine Essendon people at the football club, that's what they need. That's what this football club needs at the moment. So to Adrian, I really thank you. And to Reedy as well, Bruce Reid, you know, like he's obviously been there from the start of my career, and Reedy and I have obviously had a lot of laughs over the years. And to Reedy, thank you, mate. Like, you know, you've been unbelievable for me throughout my career, and starting to get a little bit emotional when I speak about Reedy, but you know, he's obviously been doing it tough at the moment. To Reedy, mate, I love you, and I hope once all this shit's done and dusted, mate, I can enjoy one of your nice bottles of wine.
Oh, well said. And finally, for the fans, you've seen their loyalty firsthand through such a challenging period. What's your message to them?
Yeah, I think my message to the guys is success is not too far away. I think that, you know, we've got some really good leaders at this football club at the moment, and you know, I'm really excited about what's to come for the group. You know, I feel like I'm leaving this group in a better place than what I got to the football club in. So, you know, stick the course and have faith in what we're doing. And I think that success can be really close and can be around the corner. And just on our fans, you know, I think we've been going through a bit of a difficult time, especially over my 13-year career. And what makes our club so great is the loyalty and the support that the fans have given not only myself, but the whole football club over a really difficult time. And it doesn't go unnoticed. And that's probably, you know, what makes our club so great is the fans.
Well, Tom, really appreciate your contribution to the footy club and your loyalty and passion throughout those 13 years. You should be very proud, and congratulations and all the best for the next chapter in life.
Thanks very much, mate, and yeah, hopefully we finish on a high this week and go Bombers.
Shop online at Amart Furniture for affordable and stylish furniture. Like these modern living room pieces or this stylish headboard. In stock and ready for fast delivery. Visit amart.com.au.
In 1930, Dr. Schroeder discovered the bacteria that now bears his name. Today, there are approximately 300 researchers working at the Central Research Institute in Tokyo. Do you, Yakult?
Welcome back to the 2020 Crichton Medal presented by Yakult. Now, as we've heard earlier in the night from the CEO Xavier Campbell and the outgoing chairman Lindsay Tanner, they have paid tribute to the outgoing coach John Morsfold, who took over in the most difficult circumstances in 2016, led the club to a couple of finals campaigns in his 5 years in charge. So it's been a wonderful effort from John Morsfold. Let's now hear some reflections from the skipper Dyson Heppell.
No, it's pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to it. It'll take a little while to get to know you all individually, but that's going to be the first big process. Find out what's driving you individually, how much you want to succeed, what you want to get out of your footy, and work out how we can help you do that. And in the meantime, we'll find out what, as a group, we want to achieve and what we're prepared to put on the line to achieve that. So, yeah, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to getting to know you all. Pre-season starts when for you guys? 23rd? Yeah, the old blokes know definitely when they start. Yeah. The younger blokes wait to be told, but that's good.
I think when he came on board, we all straight away saw quite a caring side to Whoosh that I probably didn't realise prior to that. He, having that year off in 2016, he was someone that really made sure he was checking in and seeing how we were going throughout that year. And also, I think having him there to share his vision for where the club was heading and reinforcing the strengths as a team that we had and get us really inspired to come back after that year and play footy again and enjoy footy, I think was really important. And just talking to the guys throughout that 2016 year that were there, how much of a stabilising mentoring role that he played on a lot of those guys. Super grateful that he came into the club at the time that he did, and he set up some really strong foundations for the performance and culture going forward as well. So he's been super.
Look, a massive thanks to all the support from you guys. Truly means a lot, and to the coaching staff and the greater club as well. So look, I'm really excited about what we can do this year. From my point of view, I just want to really empower everyone in this group to take ownership of this club as well. I'm going to need every one of your support as captain of the club, and look, everyone needs to start driving standards, bettering each other from pitch, through to Cal, feeling real ownership of this club. So, really excited to see what we can bring this year, boys, and love you all. Let's do it.
Yeah, taking over the role as captain in 2017 from Job, obviously a tremendous honour from my point of view, and very proud to be able to lead the team. But having Wooshy there as a previous captain of a successful club was really important for me to be able to bounce things and feed things off him, and I guess drive the playing group semi-together in what we wanted to create and where we were going over those next few years. And I think what really stood out for me was just his ability to be so measured when he's under the heat and under the pump, and he's the way he's able to just handle and manage situations. I was super impressed by, and the standards that he sets, not only on himself, but I think the group really stood out to me, and that's something that I really helped my leadership going, okay, this bloke stands for something pretty powerful, and that resonated quite well throughout the rest of the playing group as well.
Last time Joe Watson ran through the banner, he was the captain. His Bombers are back with a new captain. Das, I've never quite heard a roar like that one.
No, I think it's huge. Trying to manage performance standards, these type of things, but also just getting a bunch of guys that have had a year off footy come back and just really enjoy footy again, and create an environment where they can thrive. And I think he did an amazing job at that. And he found a really good balance of driving strong standards and focusing on performance, but also that environment of joy and guys really loving each other's company and having a fun environment to train and learn and grow. When you look from the outside, I think you've got a pretty good read on Woosh, but he's just the most committed and driven bloke I think I've ever seen and ever met. He's got a bit of sickness in the way that he has to be the first one at the club every day. He's the one that turns the lights on, and he's crunching out ridiculous sessions in the altitude chamber. And so by the time you get to the club thinking you're there early, getting prepped for training, he's smoked a couple of hours worth of exercise. Even on this trip here, like morning after games, he busted his calf, not long back, and all of a sudden he's just punched out 2 half marathons within the week, running up mountains. This kind of stuff that he has is just general drive and dedication within him to get, to want to achieve something, and I think that rubs off on the group quite a lot as well. But he's also got a real, a great sense of humour, a funny bit of wit about him, and I think we've seen the best sides of him in these last couple of years.
How do you show leadership?
Just tell us jokes.
Yeah, that's leadership. Yeah, you got any jokes?
No, he's got all the jokes.
Yeah, he's got terrible jokes. He's got terrible jokes.
Nah, probably just, just communicate.
Yeah. Leadership is being enthusiastic, having a smile, looking forward to training. That's showing leadership. So it's so many different things, it's amazing. Sometimes people think leader, you just have to be the loudest person, talks about everything, but nah, it's your actions. And
No?
Yeah, I'm mic'd up, I'm up, Langford, come here, I've got to tell you something. Hey, early strike. So as soon as that ball goes in there high, you're in full offence. You get in and try and beat him in. Yep. You're giving him a bit of a head start, but if he crumbs it, I want you tackling him. Otherwise, you get in fast. Don't you start.
No, you look good.
He's asking me who's training well. You want me to give you a pump up or not? Well, don't say anything.
I think that real dedication and commitment to a cause to achieve something powerful together as a group, I think is something that he's instilled quite a lot. And just driving really high standards amongst the group to create a culture that's going to last a long time and not just be a fleeting moment. You know, you can tell though, he's one of those guys that you know how measured and cool he can be, but you're also on edge as well, that you know that this bloke could, you know, flick the switch at any moment, and when you do get a serve, you know you bloody well mean it. So there's been a couple of occasions where he's ticked over, but certainly well deserved.
You know what your best footy looks like. We all know what our best footy looks like individually. You reckon you've got a fair idea of what it looks like? Have you written a plan about what your A game looks like? Do you assess that post-game and say, how did I go against the way I want to play for this team? Against how I'm going to help this team be a good team, like bringing my A game. Take ownership of it. Sit down with your coach and go and say to him, I've got to get better in this area, how are you going to help me do it? Right? I want to do this to get better, and this is what I'm going to do about it. I need you to give me this. And if you're not, why aren't you? You want to be average? You know, oh, it's a tough year, we're living in a hotel, can't see my dog. Where's your mind at? Where do you want to be as a footballer? When you run out 2 hours on the ground, and then when you train 2 hours a day. All right? I reckon we're just sliding along going, we're going okay. Do we know where our positions are on the zone? Like the truck puts it up every week. I don't see blokes sprinting to get in position. Brutal game, boys, because it's the elite level of your sport, your chosen sport. There is no high level. If you want to be the best, you've got to work out a way to be harder and better and train more than those other groups.
Yeah, I feel this is this little phase of, what do we call it, a transition of the coaches over this next period. I feel it's worked out really, really well. Woosh playing that mentor role for Truck, and you know, Truck really feeding off that as well, and you know, Woosh also empowering Truck to have that space to be able to drive the group forward. I think it has been really important. So I think they've handled it. They couldn't have handled it any better, the both of them. And you know, really excited for this next phase as well. And no doubt Woosh will still have some input from wherever he is, and he'll always be there to reach out to as well along the lines. But it's an exciting journey that we have ahead. Set up, I think, some really good foundations over the past with under Woosh, and yeah, now ready to go with Truck at the helm, and looking forward to see what we can do.
Yeah, well done to everyone involved. That was a fantastic insight into the man that is John Worsfold. And Fletch, he's a fascinating character to a lot of people in footy, because he fronts the media, he seems very calm, he never lets the emotion get the better of him. But you can just see there, like he was as a player, he is a ruthless competitor. Yeah, he does, and that introverted, I think, is the word he used. But it was great to see that vision there too. It's great to see that, and also, you know, that first year he just had that sort of that calmness. You know, he brought that about the group, and I think too at the start there, he was a recruiter, he was a coach, he was a mentor, he was doing all that, and he was trying to get a list up to really compete at the top level, and it was difficult, but he's done a great job. And I guess that what Dyson said there, and a lot of players I'm sure you speak to have said the same thing, that he's brought an enjoyable environment back again, which would have been difficult to do given the circumstances he came in with. Yeah, especially the first year, and also this, you know, this hub life, and obviously we're not up there and we don't know how it's all working, but from all reports, it's been a good time up there and they've enjoyed it, and as I said, you know, Truck takes over now, and we hope that Truck's got a lot better from his version of what's happened, and we go forward from here. What are your memories of playing against John? I mean, he was a fierce footballer.
Yeah, well, the West Coast Eagles were that club you didn't want to play against, especially over there at Subiaco. They were just a tough side, and he was obviously captain and coach for a long time. So the person I knew was tough, a really, really tough side you played against, and obviously, you know, meeting him for the first time when I did speak to him, it's a bit of a different feel when you first meet him. So it's funny what you see outside than on the inside.
From your experiences with him, what sort of person is he? Because I think a lot of people outside are not sure.
Yeah, I think people aren't sure, and I'm not in the football club all the time, but you know, I think Dyson mentioned a couple of times there, he is a very caring person, and as I said, it was that first year and the last year were really, really tough periods. So, but the people I speak to, you know, they say that you know, he's done a fantastic job, and he's left the list in a better spot. And as I said, now it's, you know, Truck, and Truck's obviously developed under him as well. So it's going to be a good year for the boys next year.
Yep, and let's get back and hear some final thoughts from John Worsfold. He's with the CEO, Xavier Campbell.
Another person we'll be saying farewell to has been our senior coach over the last 5 years, John Worsfold. So please put your hands together for John, who's going to make a speech now.
Thanks, Xavier. Won't be too long. Said way too much in the last few days. So really, it's just thank you. Going back about 5 years ago, Paul Little I spoke with, understanding where the Essendon Football Club were at, and in talking to him and understanding what he and the club felt they needed to do to work through that current situation, I really felt as though I could assist and be part of rebuilding whatever they needed. The team, the club, pull everyone together. But I certainly realised it was going to be tough, but it doesn't matter if you're coaching the team that's sitting on top of the ladder. It's tough. There's expectations, there's pressure. So I understand that that's just what comes with the job. So after meeting with Paul and Xavier and going through pretty intense process, I was chosen to lead the Essendon Football Club as senior coach. And I really appreciate the trust and respect shown to me in giving me that opportunity. So to Lindsay Tanner, who we've shared this ride together, very, very closely aligned. We haven't had to spend a lot of time talking through stuff. Lindsay very much lets the club run itself and people do their job and offers that leadership and support, but very closely aligned to my beliefs and what I wanted to bring to the footy club. And I know he's spoken and thanked me for that, so I really appreciate that. Lindsay, I've really enjoyed working alongside you, and the rest of the board. I've always enjoyed my interaction with all the board members. So thanks to the Essendon Footy Club for giving me the opportunity. I've really enjoyed every minute of it. Super challenging at different times, but that makes life exciting. Xavier, thanks very much. Huge support, and again working together towards trying to achieve a common goal, and a lot of that we've done pretty well. And I know there's certainly parts of it that are still to go. And that's why I think this year has been a really special year for me in terms of watching Ben Rutten grow and looking forward to him stepping up to continue on the pathway that the club want to take. I hope I leave the club in a position that gives Ben every opportunity to be really successful going forward. He'll need the strong support of everyone who supported me along the journey as well, which goes for the players, all staff, everyone at the footy club, and it also goes for members and supporters to be brave and strong enough to back the club in and back the new leadership team in to take it forward. So it's been a pleasure. My family have obviously been pretty amazing. That's probably the hardest part. That you don't realise how tough it is. It's sort of, I've challenged myself to not think about it and just turn up and do the best job I could actually do. But every day has been a challenge in that regard. Anyway, I get to go home soon, so that's going to be nice. I can't believe I've cracked after this week. That is so disappointing. So really, I just want to say to everyone, knuckle down, enjoy the ride. It's tough. It's going to be really tough. It always is. But good luck to Paul Brasher and Xavier going forward, and to Richo and Truck, all the best. And as I said, stick together, fight it out together and have some great success. Thank you.
Yeah, well done to John Worsfold. I guess that's another thing you've got to remember. He has been living away from his family while coaching the Essendon Footy Club. He gets to go back home. Fletch, not sure he's going to be a dancer, though, looking at those shots in that last video. What do you make of that?
That was a bit like me dancing, I reckon. But, yeah, it's great to see that emotional side and what it really does mean to him. But, yeah, it's as I said, it was a tough period, but, he's on the right side now, and obviously with Truck taking over, Truck's in a better spot. So, he's learned a lot off John Worsfold.
Absolutely. Now, earlier we spoke about some of the players that are departing this year. We heard from Tom Bell-Chambers and Connor McKenna. There's been some list changes announced too in the last 24 hours. So I want to thank the following players. It came out after the game yesterday that Sean McKernan was leaving the football club. Another 4 list changes have been announced today. Josh Begley, Kobe Butch, Noah Gown and also Mitch Hibberd will also be departing the club at the end of 2020. So thank you to those 5 as well for their services to the Essendon Football Club, and we wish them all the best in their future ventures. But let's get down to the business end of the count. We're about to announce the top 3 in the Crichton Medal for 2020, and the 3rd place getter this year is dashing defender Adam Saad. So well done to Adam Saad, and let's have a look at some of his highlights from season 2020.
Player top 3, 8 of 10 years in the best and fairest. Foreign went to ground, well done Saad, kept his feet, got hold of the football. Long ball, front spot, Stringer with really strong hands.
And then Woodchie, the Dogs did well. They absorbed so much there, didn't they? In front of Vanderbilt, well done Saad. Just ragdolled him, didn't he? Pushed him out of the way and then gave them the chance. Ham to Merritt. Merritt back to Saad, running and really creating to McGrath. Not a great kick, but a good contest there by Stewart. That was better, so the advantage back. Now Saad on the burst. He's a chance from there. It's a long, long goal. Boy, did they need that.
Yeah, well done to Adam Saad. 3rd place in the Crichton Medal, and interesting to see if he can get into that All-Australian squad of 40 this year, Fletch. He's had another fantastic year. I guess the club's been blessed with, Wanganeen and Hardwick and Mark Johnson as small defenders, and Saad's building up a pretty impressive reputation as well.
Yeah, he does. He fits into that category, and obviously with, averages 20 disposals, 81% efficiency, so he's very efficient at what he does, and probably the big one is that metres gained, over, I think, 410 metres gained. So he's that attacking defender, and it's great to see a couple of those goals he's kicked, but he's been fantastic for the footy club.
Yeah, he's been fantastic since the day that he walked in. So let's get to the runner-up in season 2020. We mentioned off the top, it was a big chance to win his 3rd Crichton Medal. He's just fallen short, but congratulations to Zach Merritt, runner-up in the 2020 Crichton Medal. So 2 Crichton Medals, now a runner-up. He won the medal, of course, in 2016 and 2019. And had another fantastic season. Started off in difficult circumstances when he's out of the leadership group, but let's have a look at some of his highlights for season 2020.
So to this man, Zach Merritt. Just gain a bit of ground, but it's ended up with Cousins, who's able to elude Merritt initially, but not the second time.
Takes a little off, it allows McKernan to run at the football, didn't quite get the leg. Snelling tries to bustle his way through, did really well. Merritt, Bombers fans, they'll be jumping up in their living rooms around the country. You can hear the players celebrate early, always on target.
Yeah, well done to Zach Merritt, a top 2 finish again in the Crichton Medal. And Fletchy came to the club when you were still playing, and he had an impact right from the start. Just give us an insight into Zach Merritt, the person.
Oh, just a very balanced person to start with, and that shows out in his football. Just he's a great young kid. I suppose you can't say young kid anymore because he's won 2 Crichtons already. Again, those stats that you look at, over 400 metres gained. When he gets the football now, he's really hitting some good targets and also kicking goals. But averages 27, 75% efficiency. efficiency. He's been a fantastic player for the club for a long time now.
I guess it says something about his maturity. I mean, he captained the side in some games last year, and then he starts the year and he's not in the leadership group, which would have been tough to take, but he clearly hasn't sulked about it and has gone about it the right way.
Yeah, it might have been a bit of a shock to him, but if you know Zach, he's fought back, and to come second in the Crichton medal this year is a fantastic achievement. And you know, he's still only young in my book, and he's got some really, really good years of football left in him.
Yeah, well done to Zach Merritt. So third place, Adam Sard. Runner-up, Zach Merritt. So who's taken out the Crichton medal for 2020? We've looked at the leaderboard throughout the night. It's been pretty much a two-horse race. Right up the top between McGrath and Andrew McGrath, of course, and also Jordan Ridley. But in the end, the winner of the 2020 Crichton medal is Jordan Ridley. So what a fantastic story this is. As we said, only played a handful of matches before this season, but already he's a Crichton medal winner. He's been one of the best intercepting defenders in the competition this year. Let's have a look at some of his highlights.
Crowd still roaring, 20,000 in the house. And a big putt.
There he is again.
Ridley's done a brilliant job all season at pick-off marking. And he saves the day there. They had some momentum.
Ridley's become such a good player quickly, hasn't he? Such a good intercept. Reads the ball really well through the air.
Just deceptively tall, Doug.
Yes.
I mean,
got those rangy arms.
Yeah, exactly.
You love it as a supporter of a club when you see a young player come in and develop, and that's what this guy's doing this year, Ridley. #1 intercept marker at Essendon. Great to see.
Murphy, Himmelberg, under pressure, he's dropped it, and this time he's gone, and Ridley does it again.
Great tackling. Sends it wide and then the Goldstein direction. There's a good mark from Ridley, a improving player each week. Jordan Ridley, just his 14th game. Got the target of McKernan, who was a bit too quick.
Smith goes deep inside 50, high ball again, and that's a good mark, falling back.
Tapped away by Stewart. Ridley, nice work. He's taken a few intercept marks himself.
That's number 3 for him. Don't kick it at that bloke. That should be what the runner says.
Yep. To Keefe. To Kelly, punched away from him by Ridley.
And there's that man, Ridley, again, just getting across and taking the mark. Reads it well.
Exactly what Brownie's talking about. Ridley, another intercept mark. He's starting to rack them up.
O'Brien gets the tap. Keys, inside it goes. Look at Ridley again. That's why they reckon this guy's leading the Essendon best and fairest, because he's best on ground today so far.
Down now, it's Higgins. Long ball forward, and that's too easy for Jordan Ridley, who's an emerging young tall defender.
Nicely done by Ridley. She's an impressive young player.
That kick down the line, and Ridley with those lovely hands of Ridley, aren't they?
Confident, isn't he?
Spins around. Another intercept from Ridley.
Bill Chambers with a big fist knocks it down. McKay, Jones, Merritt feeds it back. Ridley pulls the kick, sees the target, awesome. Puts it onto the lap of Kale with a ribbon on it.
Yeah, well done to Jordan Ridley. What a fantastic story. Not many players win a best and fairest before playing 30 games of AFL football. I've got a feeling this would have been beyond his wildest dreams at the start of 2020. So let's hear from the winner of the 2020 Crichton medal, Jordan Ridley.
It's tough because we're running through these awards pretty quickly, and I don't want to take away from the significance of the Crichton medal. It's a unique format, but this player had quite an amazing year. He grew massively. He's an excellent club person, and the winner of the 2020 Crichton medal is Jordan Ridley.
Well, yeah, it's been a crazy year, I guess. I think coming into the year, to be honest, I didn't really have any expectations. I just wanted to sort of get off the fringe and crack in the team and play a few games, hopefully. So to see how it's gone, it's been pretty unbelievable. I think with all that's happened, being in the hub and that, super grateful for all the amazing people at the footy club. I think it's made it a lot easier in that it's all such good people, and we've been so well supported through the hub, and to not be at home and to still just feel very happy and supported by everyone's been an awesome. So I'd like to thank everyone in the room just how they've gone about the year. Probably like to thank the players as well. I think probably this would be just about, despite the results, I've probably had the most fun in playing my footy that I have this year. I know we've got a lot of growth as a group to go, and I think I really believe in the direction we're heading, so hopefully we can really raise that tide next year and be in a really good place the next few years and really get that team success we're after. Also like to thank all the coaches for really just backing me in this year. I think the way you guys sort of handled me this year gave me a lot of confidence, and it definitely allowed me to play my role a lot better and just be a lot happier playing footy. Also like to thank my amazing girlfriend Rachel. I think she's been super supportive of me, and I'm really, really grateful for her coming up here and just leaving her life behind in Melbourne and helping me out and making me feel supported. And also just to my mum, dad and my little sister Maddie. I know they can't be here today, but they're a massive part on making me the person I am today, and obviously couldn't have got through all the years of junior footy and then getting to the club and to be where I am now. It's a big part to them, so yeah, thanks everyone. Appreciate it.
Yeah, congratulations to Jordan Ridley. What a fantastic result. Let's have a look at the voting for rounds 15 to 18, and we'll also have a look at the final leaderboard. So these were the votes for the Crichton Medal, the final leaderboard there. Jordan Ridley, 333 votes. Zach Merritt, 308. Adam Sard, 292. Well done to Kyle Langford. Very consistent season, 281. And as we've mentioned a few times, Andy McGrath was up in the top two. Unfortunately, injury meant he probably slipped to fifth in the end, but still a very consistent season. Darcy Parish, another consistent season in sixth place. Anthony McDonald, Tip and Woody, the leading goal kicker, in seventh. And rounding out the top 10, Devon Smith, Will Snelling and also Dylan Shield, who started the season in fantastic form. But just a bit more on Jordan, Dusty. With a lot of those highlights there, we saw the fantastic marking, which is clearly a strength, but his use of the ball is very, very impressive, and his composure for such a young player.
Yeah, it is, and with his marking, just the timing of his leaps. A lot of the time you see 3 or 4 players jumping in front of him and he'll still mark it. So he's got all that. When there's an attacking kick that needs to be taken, he'll go after it, whether it's a 40-metre stab sort of pass or it's a longer type kick. But yeah, terrific year. And as a halfback, fullback at times, it's been a very good year for Jordan.
You see him being a defender for his career?
Yeah, I do, because the fact is he's going to be such a great player down there. I think he probably could play on a wing, really, or maybe go down forward. But when you've got a defender like that who sets up a lot of the play with his attacking style, he's going to be down there for a while, I think.
And looking at that final leaderboard, you've got Ridley, 21 years of age, McGrath, 21 years of age. Kyle Langford is still a pretty young man and a pretty young player. I mean, it's been a tough year, but to see that improvement in young players, that's a massive bonus for the footy club.
It is, and I think that's the big one. You get out of the year what you see these young guys do, and as you said, Darcy Parish, I think it was into 6th, so it's good to see him really creeping up, and he's only going to get better next year, and Kyle Langford up in the top 5 too. So, there are some exciting signs, and they are from younger players, which is really good, because if we can get that 10 to 12 younger players really up in that top level, well, Essendon are going to be a better side.
It's been a tough year, 2020, some great highlights and individual performances. Just your final thoughts heading into 2021. What do you expect for the Bombers?
Yeah, I think it's going to be, obviously, the big one is Joe Danaher. It'd be great to get him signed up, and obviously Sard, because he's been in the top few there. But, Zach Merritt, we've got some really, really good young players, and, we might have to get some players around them, but we've got a good core of players, and as I said, that hub, they're going to come out of that hub now and be a little bit more relaxed after the year's finished. And, again, I'll be looking to get back into training. I'm not sure when they come back to training, but there's always going to be that thought, I've got to be back spot on by pre-season, and I hope they do that, and I really look forward to those young guys coming through and being a really competitive side next year.
And just for you and I and all the fans, having a beer at the footy again next year will be nice. Yeah,
it was weird just seeing the fans there, and I think like everyone, just to have supporters there, and it does get the players going, and the day we see 100,000 at the MCG, I just want to be there as well.
Well, Fletcher, thanks so much for your time. I know you're happy because the defender won the best and fairest in Jordan Ridley, but have a fantastic off-season. We'll see you in 2021.
Thanks, Jules. Thanks a lot.
And thank you to all the members out there. It's been a tough year, all the partners of the Essendon Football Club. And once again, congratulations to all the award winners in the Crichton Medal, and particularly the top three: Adam Sard third, Zach Merritt second, and the first Crichton Medal for 21-year-old Jordan Ridley. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Crichton Medal presented by Yakult. Have a great off-season, and we'll see you in 2021.